I'm not going to lie that the press conference was kind of weird. I'll take that back. It wasn't weird till it got to Shane Waldron. But the two offensive and defensive coordinators have now been introduced. They had live questions with the media, and some of their answers were great, and some of them were scratching our heads and not the answers we were looking for. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year of Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Shane Waldron and Eric Washington both had their first press conferences as offensive and defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, where they were asked very specific questions about the interview process, how things went, what they're excited about, what brought them here. And of course, Waldron got drilled with the Caleb Williams Justin Field questions. And he stayed away from practically all of them. I'm going to break the entire interview down for you guys. And before I begin, if you please could hit the like button on this video if you are excited about Shane Waldron and Eric Washington, along with commenting your thoughts on the press conference. And as always, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's a great help to the channel, trying to hit 14,000 before the NFL Combine. We're getting close, and you guys are a huge help. So let's start off with Matt Eberflus, who opened up the day. Flus started with congratulating Devin Hester, Julius Peppers, and Steve McMichael while getting into the Hall of Fame, which I thought was a very, very classy move of him. Also, Flus is going with a new look. I don't have a picture of it right now, but he has a beard and he has a very crisp fade on the top. Kind of, if you were to give me a fade, it would be like that, then make me gray with a beard. I would look like Matt Eberflus. But overall, very classy move by the head coach. He also talked very highly of that he's excited about the overall staff, especially Shane Waldron and Eric Washington, but they obviously hired a ton of other people. Eric Washington, to start things off, Matt Eberflus called him his good friend. The two have worked together before in the past. They've never actually been on the same team before, but they have very close mutual friends. They've been at different conferences together, different meetings, and that's what made Eric Washington really excited to come to the Chicago Bears, along with Matt Eberflus having him come to the Chicago Bears. Flus also talked about how Shane Waldron was actually interviewed twice for the position, Eric Washington only once, because of the fact that they really took offensive coordinators seriously because of the staff that they currently have on the roster, hinting at Justin Fields. Waldron had some different answers, and I'll get to that in a minute. But overall, Flus talked about during the interview process, what they looked for was someone who is in love with the game, someone that has so much passion for it, cares about every little detail, is there late. Overall, but a healthy working style, obviously. Matt Eberflus said he was able to find those guys in Shane Waldron and Eric Washington and trusted them to find a similar staff as well, which it sounds like all things went together because Flus is super pumped about this overall coaching staff. He said that we need to have the best culture possible and the best attitude out there. And the guys, not only the coaches, but the players love being Chicago Bears. That's the expectation they set last year, and that is the expectation they have moving forward, which I love, by the way. I think that's huge. That is something that we haven't had for a while, at least since Lovie Smith, in my opinion. I mean, you got to love the uniform that you got to put on. You got to want to play for the city that you play for. And you hear that message more often than pretty much ever over the last decade with this team, which is super special. Flus also said he did a ton of homework on this. He was calling other head coaches. He was calling other players. Overall, was doing what he could to get to know before he walked into an interview room with some of these guys, which I think is great. That is awesome. That is what you should be doing. It shouldn't be on your GM. Obviously, this is your staff, and Flus sounds like he took it very seriously. He also announced that Chris Morgan was now promoted to run game coordinator. Congratulations to him. But overall, the Bears have one more hire to make. That's assistant defensive line coach, because our defensive line coach actually left for Seattle, which is, congratulations to him. But the Bears, overall, good position from Flus's standpoint. So let's go into Eric Washington, who only had one interview with the Bears, which is Hallis Hall, and that's all he needed in order to get the job. First of all, want to start off by saying this dude is complete class. I mean, this is where he started his coaching career, and he recognized that right away. He said, quote, "It's an honor and a privilege to be in this role and to be returning to the Chicago Bears. This is where I started my career 16 years ago. This is where I had my first child. This is where everything started. And I'm grateful and want to thank the McCaskies, Ryan Poles, and Matt Eberflus for bringing me back and giving me this privilege to be the defensive coordinator." Classy move, and I like that because you need good personalities like that in the building. Then he talked about how important it was to him during the interview process, the relationship he was going to have with the head coach. He did announce that Matt Eberflus is still going to be calling the defense, and he is going to be more of a game planner, kind of helping things out, making sure that Eberflus is making the best decisions possible. And he does have that relationship already with Matt Eberflus in order to go out, give him the harsh criticism, but also what players are saying, what he thinks is working. And so far, the two have apparently met. They've worked together and things are going great out of the gate. Love that as well, because I never felt like they had that with Alan Williams and Eberflus. It was kind of a weird situation, but overall, super excited about this relationship. When it came, the question was asked when it came to adapting to Matt Eberflus's playbook because they were slightly different compared to what Eric Washington has worked with. Eric Washington actually was super positive about, which is another great thing. I mean, not that he's going to be negative. I mean, he would be honest, but out of the gate, no hesitation. He's like, I love it. I know it. And Matt has some really good ideas, really good plays. And that's why his defense succeeded. That is why I wanted to come here. And his main focus coming to the Chicago Bears and his job with the defense is to make it the best. Again, understanding that Eberflus is calling the plays, but he knows he's a great teacher, he's a great developer, and overall, he's going to help this defense a lot. He actually talked highly about a lot of the young guys on the defense that he's looked at over the last couple of years, not name dropping anyone, but kind of hinting at Dexter Sr., Pickens, Brisker, all those young guys that he looked at for his previous defenses that he wanted to come in and was actually jealous that the Bears got these players. So he's very excited to continue to move forward with these guys and build them, and he thinks he can unlock them and be the number one defense in football. He even called the players elite, explosive. They're going to win football games this year. He's very excited about them, thinks they're dynamic. He did name drop Montez Sweat, though. He thinks he's one of the best in the game, and that's who he is super excited to work with. Again, this guy's worked with Brian Burns and Von Miller over the last couple of seasons, developed them. They both had fantastic seasons as well. So it's good to hear that he's excited about a player like Montez Sweat. So the big takeaways, big fan of Matt Eberflus, trusts his defense, trusts the relationship, is excited to finally work on him with the same team. All good things, good. And then on top of it, he also called out Eberflus, like the respect he has for him, handling all the adversity that happened last year for the Chicago Bears, potentially getting fired, the Alan Williams situation, overall just where the team was. He saw that and was like, that is a leader, that is a winner, and I want to be here. And I couldn't agree more. I really think Flus is turning out to be a great head coach right now. His record doesn't show it, I understand, but overall, I'm very excited about it. Shane Waldron. Now that's what you guys are here for. Start off with saying, looking forward to a group that can display great effort and toughness on the field. We put together that in the coaching staff, and I believe that's on the roster. Good start, Shane. I like that one a lot. Then he said this: players change, situations need to become adaptable. When he was asked about the quarterback situation, that's where things started to get a little weird. And he definitely had a conversation with Flus and Pohl saying, you are not saying anything about what you want. You are just saying that you are going to, like, he definitely was coached before this interview, guys, because he started off when planning the offense saying, first, we had to put the staff together. I believe in this staff. This is the staff that I've had relationship with, I've seen success with, and that's why I wanted them. Good. Then second, having a system that speaks the same language, making sure there's zero miscommunication. Well, that's good because it seems like that was a problem with Luke Getsy. But then when it came to the offense, this offense can work with different quarterbacks at different levels. That's where things started to get spicy. In the room just erupted with questions like, Justin Field, Caleb Williams, and you could see on his face, he sounded nervous and excited. He's like, oh crap, like I knew the media was coming to this. Someone did ask a question about when it comes to unlocking players and how he did it with Geno Smith, kind of alluding to what he could do with Justin Fields. He says you got to have a strong relationship with those players, understand the players' why they're here, why they want to be in the NFL, what they want to do, and working to their strengths. That was big too for me. I like hearing that because that's something that you ever heard Getsy say. Getsy was all about, we're working to our game plan. We're working to this. We're working to, never once mentioning the player's strengths. So overall, that was a big change as well, but still alluding to that his offense is good for any quarterback at any level, which playing his cards, I mean, he played his cards right. I give him an A+, speaking to the Chicago media out of the gate, because that was very, very tough. When it comes to the quarterback situation, all he had to say was, it's interesting to have the number 1 and number 9 overall picks, which is huge and rare. It's unique for an organization like this as well. There are a lot of good players in this draft. And just to confirm, he has spoken with Justin Fields, but he said they exchanged messages. They've never spoken on the phone. They've never spoken in person. I guess you're not allowed to at the moment. So overall, like, he definitely played his cards right, because he probably doesn't even know what the quarterback situation is going to be. But there is that chance that Caleb Williams could come in. So he played his cards right by saying this offense can work for quarterbacks at all different levels. But he did also speak to, there was a question about evaluating Justin. He said, he kind of diverted and said, I'm going to meet with the scouts. I'm going to meet with who they want, who they think would be best for this roster with my offense. But overall, again, kept his mouth shut. Did a good job, in my opinion, doing that. But, you know, and then his final question was, why did you choose a team that went with the number 1 pick? He said it's unique. He said that it's a good situation to be in. No matter what they do, my offense can work to it. So overall, just, it was a good presser. I mean, like, I was excited for it. There was like 10,000 people on the Bears live stream. And again, sorry, no photos or videos or anything, guys. There's nothing I can really share. But overall, just a very interesting presser by, you know, especially Shane Waldron. Eric Washington was, you know, I'm doing my job. We're going to be the best defense in the league. Great. Matt Eberflus also seems like he's a lot more, getting more sleep in the offseason, so that's great. Shane Waldron, though, man, he kept those cards close to his chest, and just going to make this Caleb Williams, Justin Fields, or whoever our future quarterback is going to be situation even more interesting. But again, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago, guys. Make sure to hit the like button on this video. Comment your thoughts in the comment section below and what you wish you heard or you're happy you heard or anything like that. And as always, please hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. But with that, thank you as always for this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, bear down, baby.